hopefully nobody in this room, if those dunes close down, if people quit coming here, it's going to really hurt the community.
So you've been residential here now?
Yeah, I'm Jody Phillips from St. Ryder Dunes, and we're actively involved in trying to keep the dunes. The point I want to make is the type of OHV rider out there today is a lot different than what it was even 10 years ago. These side-by-sides, to John's point, when you're paying $30,000 for a vehicle, you're not going to go tear it up. You're going to be careful. There's more family involved than ever before. So the groups of people you're afraid of, they're still out there. I think somebody said 35 and below. Yeah. Just remember that. And I also volunteer in an EMT down in Hauser Fire. And our call volume has really plummeted since these side-by-sides have taken over. It's been amazing. Memorial Day, we did not have one call, which was like, holy moly. So I think the perception, has started to change. In the last 10 years, it's really changed a lot. So that's definitely.
So let me make a couple of quick points, and I want to maybe get through the end of this here. That'd be great. What's being proposed exactly is, at some point, and Rocky's applied for, and with conjunction of Public Works, a grant to move the ATV lane that's currently along this side of the road over to the other side. And the reason for that is because all the camping opportunities are on the other side, and we don't want as many ATVs crossing the road to get to the lane to be able to just get on the lane and get out there. So what's being proposed is that where the ATV lane is now, ATVs will still have to ride in the lane, okay? Not on the highway, not on the road. So really we're talking about the roads from the end of the ATV lane into town on Beach Boulevard, on just the west side, not the east side. There was some talk about noise decibel levels. And somebody talked about how 85 decibels in an industrial environment is what causes hearing loss, and we're talking about 93 decibels, and I understand that. What is being proposed is 93 decibels because that's what's legal out there. But that's far less than 99% of the Harley Davidsons that are already allowed in your neighborhood. So I just want to be real about what we're talking about. The other thing is these machines don't put out near that decibel level when they're driving down the road at 25 miles an hour or less. They put out that noise level when they're in their power band at their max horsepower. So the noise thing, I understand your concern and I agree with you. If I have Buddy, where'd he go? I think maybe Buddy left, but he's going to be your newest resident, building a brand new place right over here. If I was spending much money to build a brand new place right there for the serenity of this area, which is beautiful, I'd be concerned about it too, and rightfully so. But I want to talk about concerns that are real. And I think that the noise thing is going to be far less intrusive than some might think. And so here's what I would propose. Let's see if there's a way to compromise with most of us. I propose UTVs only. No four-wheel drives, no four-wheelers, no motorcycles. UTVs only to start with. Anybody opposed, against? Yeah.
Clarify exactly what you.
So a UTV is what most people talk about as a side-by-side. So it's a two-seater, a four-seater.
Yeah, that's.
It looks like that.
They're encased in a roll cage, they look like a car.
They have a roll cage. They're facing on the side. Not today, they're not. No, not in the table. So maybe that's where we start. Sir, you have your hand up.
Yes, you said no four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive.
No, they're all four-wheel drive.
Yes, that's what I want to clarify, because all the side-by-sides are.
Yeah, no, I just meant no four-wheelers, classic four-wheelers.
Good.
My name's Alan Armstrong, but it's just off of Lester, David, a little earlier, about how other states, Arizona, Idaho, and a few others are licensed, very places to live. And a lot of states have reciprocal laws with their police departments. Is that, are they going to be facing that here anyway? If somebody's coming from out of state with a licensed vehicle?
Probably. I would assume so. When it becomes legal at the state level.
At the state level.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it,
as it currently today, if a side-by-side that was licensed in Arizona or a four-wheeler that was licensed in Arizona cannot come here and operate as a vehicle. That's the question you have.
So when it becomes legal in the state of Oregon, though, that would, I assume, be the same as for that automobile. Yes.
So I'm not definitely, necessarily for it or totally against it, but I do like the idea to introduce it and proposing it. When somebody purchases $20,000, $30,000 UTV and takes it over here, they're not the lawless crowd that is hot rodding it and pulling lilies and doing crazy inappropriate stuff. They're respectable people. You kind of feel offended that the lawless comment comes from an ATV, because there's a large group of ATVers that are completely responsible for their machines. And I feel like we focus so much on the negative that we're bypassing any kind of positives. Like you said, limiting the ATVs to come through, which a lot of people that have the money invested into their ATVs as a hot rod or whatever, doesn't want to run their paddle tires and completely, there are the crowd that does, but the majority of them that have spent the money into their ATVs don't want to travel there. Or ripping their dirt bikes with their paddle tires, but accessing it to even UTVs. It's a machine. When they come off the factory, they're not loud. I live on Highway 101, and those Jake brakes, they drive me back crazy. And I can't just reroute I-5. And I understand that the community is based, it's kind of an older generation of calmness, but it is an ATV, a youth recreation, and it hasn't changed. Coming here, and I understand, we don't want to intrude your guys' homes, but I think they're so focused on the negative that they're missing any kind of benefit.
Yes, sir, in the San Francisco hat.
We've lived here for 5 years. And I'm not on the fence one way or another. I am concerned about speed. I think the 15 is much better than the 20 or 25. And the sound, I think, is another big concern. And I realize that the 93 decibels is what is allowed on the dunes. But us as a town can control what comes across that bridge. And why can't we go to something like factory exhaust only? Go ahead.
So our Rogers 700 is correctly under sheriff, we have 5 miles per hour green deputy, brand new from the factory, 92.7, what I measured it at?
Really?
92.7 decibels. Not untouched.
Wow. Then we don't need any.
Yeah. What RPM is that at?
Yeah. So there's a recommendation
out
for every bike, it's
the
3,200.
The reason I changed is at the 15 or so, it's not nowhere near. I just wanted the clarity of.
I mean, because they are louder, if they're not running non-factory exhaust, they are louder even than running at speed,
So to
correct?
clarify that real quick, so everyone understands how decibel works is the factory and whoever does the decibel stuff came up with the RPM and the peak sound range. And so there's an RPM gauge that is placed on the machine, and we have to increase the accelerator to get the thing to do a perfect circle, and that is the RPM range it has to be in, and then we take that measurement at that RPM range. So it's not as simple as an idle walking up and testing it. We actually have to accelerate the machine and get it to that peak RPM that they want.
Ma'am, you're next, and then you.
When you were talking about the map, are you also considering them going up like the Bex Market?
Yep. So the proposal is Beach Boulevard on this side, all the way down to the end and around to the motel that's in the back, and the 2 roads that go out to the 2 stores out on the highway. That was the proposal.
So they'll be riding in residential areas now.
Say that
If they ride back to the motel, they're gonna be back in residential areas.
So they'd have to, in order to go back there, they'd have to go down Beach Boulevard and around the end back to the motel that way. That's the.
Just all residential around there.
No, that's not where Bex Market is.
Just the motel.
So again, to get to this motel back here, they'd have to go all the way down Beach and around the end right here to the motel. Okay? And we're talking about straight out this road to get to the Pelican Market Complex and out here to get to the other store that's the market. Okay, I got everybody that's, you haven't raised your hand yet.
Talking about the decibels. There's a misunderstanding about that. I work with Freightliner Corporation for many, many years. To get their decimal points, they took to get to pass the law. They took off the belts, they took off the alternators, they reduced everything they could on that truck to get those decibels down. So this is, what they're telling you is probably wrong. They have probably took the belts off to get the noise down. Once they get the noise, the belts back on.
That's not what they're talking about. These guys are testing machines right here, right when people are riding.
I'm talking about the factory.
Right, we're not. We're talking about right here as they're being ridden.
I've got a side-by-side out in the parking lot if you want to unload and listen to it.
I get asked almost on a weekly basis, customers. I know that I do everything I can to, the dollars that they're bringing into town. That's, one of the things that's hard. We tell them, we go next door, you pick that up there, all of the restaurants. So we try to keep all of that money close to the town. We're not letting them come across the bridge. That's money that they're spending on Reedsport on their way to Winchester Bay. They're not stopping at any of these places. We're talking hundreds of dollars per person coming in. Just from my place, Gene, I know that Robbie does that also, the other hotel here in town, the vacation rentals, all of those. Once they get to town, they actually don't want to leave to go spend their money. They would prefer to spend it here.
Good.
We have, last time, vacation.
I'm not speaking for you. Those are my customers that I talk to weekly.
But
We've got 3 people that have already spoken. I'm going to start going back through them. So, Chief?
I think the most encouraging thing I just heard was UTVs only. ATVs scare the heck out of me on the roadway. I will agree, UTVs, the side-by-sides are a lot quieter. But a comment I wanted to make is that as you're looking at this, if somebody goes ahead with this, if the legislature forces this, I can tell you that the present separation that we have between the ATVs and the roadway, where they run down the trails, they run out onto the dunes, has worked. I went back over our records and I did not see a significant incident, even though there have been some close calls, and setting it up so they don't cross the road is a great idea. Separation is one of the key safety. So look at ATV lanes, where they're not even part of the roadway. I know the bridge in that short area down there is difficult to do, but separation, UTVs only, if it got forced, it's much better than having a bunch of ATVs and motorcycles, which anybody who's out on the dunes, how many times have you guys had to chase one of them because they just won't stop? So the UTVs.
You make a great point, and that would lead me to maybe a suggestion. The reason why the speed limit was proposed to be the same as what it currently is. Because oftentimes when you have certain vehicles on the road that are capped at a certain speed limit and other vehicles that are overtaking them because their limit's different, that can cause problems. So how about a reduction of the overall speed limit for everybody?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Enforces it.
Yeah, right.
That kind of a setup that I see in other towns, and it's transient, it comes and it goes. But have it here permanently in a couple different spots of town. The signpost that says the speed limit is, and the electronic version that shows you what speed you're going. immediately you know you're over the speed
Sure.
limit, you'll slow down.
We got one coming right down the hill into Reedsport, scares me every time I come in.
And we get two of those, one going in each direction on Boulevard.
Todd Dillon?
Again, I'm going to come back to motive and considering, you know, issue, I feel like they would look at hands raised. And the question that's not being asked is, to me, for the people who purchased property here or chose to move here, would you have moved here if this ordinance was already in place? And I believe that most of us would not. So no one's asking us, the people who moved here for the quiet fishing village atmosphere that we have, the direct question of saying, well, my RV park or my business isn't making enough money, so I would like for you to give up your lifestyle so that my business can do well. And I have never heard of a resident say that to the RV park or the restaurants or stores or whatever. I would like a better quality of life at your expense. No resident has done that to somebody who's profiting. We simply came here for our way of life. And I'm not hearing anybody ask a question that reflects how disrespectful this is. And lastly, when I hear someone say to me that somebody's going to force something on me, I think the people that know me know exactly what my answer is to that, and that is no. Is there a compromise? No. And within 2 weeks of studying this, probably about 5 days ago, I was able to figure out that this is getting funded from the state. So I'm going to start working on a class action lawsuit to cut off the funding. And I love it when you smile like that. Because I'm not talking about just the community. I'm talking about, if you're saying that it's an agenda across the state, instead of to park land, but the goal is for it to ruin community after community after community, and that we need to be prepared for this to happen to us, and we only have a year for it to happen. Well, I think that that needs to be clear, because nobody put that poster in my community either. Thank you.
Virgil. So I sit on that state committee in Salem that determines where the grants go. I'm part of that committee as our.
Put there by
That's
the Board of
what it's at.
Commissioners.
That money goes. I know where that money goes because I'm one of 5 people to vote on where that money goes, and it's a lot of money that we fund to the state, to different counties, sheriff's departments, for law enforcement, for trail enhancement, for those dunes to be taken care of. It does not go into what's happening right here. That was a misperception, and I saw it on Facebook, and it's crap.
I would like to respond to crap. Is
Oh yeah,
that,
by the way, crap is a cuss word.
yeah, is that.
No, it's
that
bully.
your
Bully
law
is F.
enforcement from the dunes is paid for with that grant?
Yeah,
If
every
there
year.
was no law enforcement, could we expand into the community? If there was 0 law enforcement, that grant that you awarded is paying for the law enforcement. So remove the law enforcement, and then how would everybody feel? No.
Chief, that was, you know, I'm kind of on the fence myself. But if we had ATV lanes, that would take care of my main concerns, which is the safety issue. If you limit it to UTVs, that kind of does the same